This album is essentially kind of a trip into space, literally. The ending specifically, though, is goosebump inducing. The world exploding. Like, literally, the whole world just explodes.
If someone says, I don't like Contortionist, it's like saying, I don't like wine. It's like, well, you haven't tried it. Have you tried all wine?
Yeah,
well, no.
yeah,
So look at
yeah. This album's amazing. I think that album is probably the best album of all time. Here's a relaxing moment, and then, boom, world's over. And go have some wicked sex, and you'll thank me later.
I don't think Nora will let me do that.
I think you'd be surprised. All right, so I'm going to move on from story work. Let's move on to The Contortionist. This one's my pick for stories. This one is going to require some setting up. It's a bit of a slow build for the song itself, but you know this album. This is from the Exoplanet album. This is the end of the Exoplanet of the album Exoplanet. So, for those of you that don't know, The Contortionist. This album is essentially kind of a trip into space, literally. Like, the whole album itself has this theme of humanity leaving Earth, going out into space, and finding more out in space, essentially. We're trying to progress humanity in the future, and it's kind of, each song kind of is a pathway through what humans might find in space. Every song in this album actually has some sort of a story tied to it. The ending specifically, though, is goosebump inducing. This song is about the end of the album, which is they found the exoplanet, they established a new home, and essentially God kind of just comes back and says, no, you're not staying here, and just takes it away, kind of thing. So this song is quite literally the end of their hope. It's kind of like the end of the continued hope of humanity at the end. So the song, you'll see the song, it starts off nice and quiet and kind of presents this, nice opening of a new world, an expanding new world that humanity's finding out in space in this exoplanet. And then God literally comes essentially within the song itself and just says, no. And the ending of the song and the ending of the album is the world exploding. Like, literally the whole world just explodes, and then there's just humanity left in space to drift, kind of thing, back into the obscurity of space.
So in context, then, this whole album is that way. So like I listened to Primal Directive, I like Contact, Flourish, Expire, Vessel. Those are the songs that stick out for me, right? I never really listened to the rest of it. But you're saying this album goes in order?
Kind of, it does. So you'll notice that, so Primal Directive is sort of setting up like, okay, this is why we need to leave the planet, Primal Directive. Then it goes into Flourish. And obviously, we're going to flourish as human nature does.
One of my favorite songs.
Contact is a beautiful song, by the way. Contact is literally like a guy finds God in space. Like, humanity finds God, and then God leaves. Like, God says, hey, like in the song Contact, it's literally, if you look at the lyrics, it's literally God and another like a guy essentially talking to each other, like humanity talking to each other, and then God leaves in that song Contact, and then the guy's left alone, like humanity's left alone to figure itself out, kind of thing. So and then it goes on from there. I think it goes into Vessel, and Vessel's actually about our decision to go into space and trying to further progress humanity and all that kind of stuff. And it goes into then the end. It's the light 1, 2, or sorry, it's Exoplanet 1, 2, and 3 at the end.
Grass, Void, and Light.
Yeah. I think the first two are kind of the setup for Light. It feels like to me. I could be getting this completely wrong, but lyrically speaking, I know for a fact that this is how this song goes down. So this song is just again, it starts off super nice and quaint. It's very soft and relaxing, which is a beautiful flow for what the song is. And then you'll notice again, like, God will come, like they call it the circling disc of ice, whatever he wants to describe it within the song, but essentially it's God comes down and just like lays waste to the exoplanet. The world explodes, and then humanity's left back to drift in space again. So that's the end.
Okay, well, I think we should also give like a little bit of insight on Contortionist. Like, I think for anyone who doesn't know them, like you talk about a band that has like a broad touches on all types of music and goes everywhere. It's like
they're a beautiful band that way, though, right? Like, they don't.
If someone says I don't like Contortionist, it's like saying I don't like wine. It's like, well, you haven't tried it. Have you tried all wine?
Yeah,
Well, no. So
yeah,
look,
yeah, yeah. If you don't
like,
like one Contortionist, go listen to something else, and yeah, you'll find something for
like
sure.
they have the softest shit on the planet. They have the hardest stuff on the planet. Like,
Mm,
they go everywhere.
yeah.
And particularly on this album, I feel like, it's probably the middle ground, best of both worlds. Maybe it was probably their heavier album,
Oh, this is
but
this is
they still have their.
this album's amazing. This is one of the best
It's
albums of
probably
all time. This is
their
an amazing
heaviest album,
album.
right? Is
But
it?
the nice thing too with the Contortionist, with at least with this album and with Language, again, they had the theme of both of these albums that they are contained albums. So like this album does, you should listen to this album as an album. This
Is it their hardest? Probably.
hardest, probably.
Yeah.
It's a tough call, and Intrinsic is pretty good, like in terms of heavy. Um, they're very similar actually, Intrinsic to this one, but Intrinsic has a very unique sound to it. Intrinsic is very like kaleidoscopy and like the way that it just presents itself. But this had a theme, like a clear theme to itself. And then same with Language actually as well. We'll break down the Language album at some point because that whole album, I need to show you that album because that's
I still don't appreciate that one. Obviously,
I think that album is probably the best album of all time. And then
it may not be underrated though, because I'm looking here on Wikipedia. It's number 6 on U.S. hard rock, or was.
Language. It should.
Yeah.
It's Language is one of the best in terms of
52
contained albums. Like the way it was written it's the best. It's one of the best written albums of all time, like from front to back.
I've honestly never really gone into it, so I'll have to obviously.
I'll put it this way.
I'll wait for you to walk me through it.
Throw that album on. Don't shuffle it. Go from front to back and go have some wicked sex, and you'll thank me later.
I don't think Nora will let me do that.
I think you'd be surprised. My experience is the Language album goes over quite well if you know where to put it.
Will it wake the kids up? Anyway.
Yeah. No, but the Language album is amazing. I think honestly, even if for someone who's not, if you're not into metal or heavy metal, or or you're one of those people who's into metal and you want to kind of introduce, the people around you into metal or take their steps in towards it.
I've always wanted to do that.
The Language album is the place. Like Animals as Leaders is a great step in for people who don't listen to metal, and Language by the Contortionist is a great album to get someone to step into the world of metal. But anyway, this is metal. There's no doubt about it.
This album is metal for sure.
Heavy. Again, it starts off really nice and quaint. Remember, this is the end of the album. This is the end of the world, essentially, and we're gonna go on this crazy adventure of humanity and the end of the exoplanet right here. So enjoy this story. This is how you tell a story in a music in a song. Right here.
Let's do it.
Let's get into it. A bit of an intro, by the way. It's good. It takes a sweet time.
Yeah, this is their longest song on the album, or almost second longest song after Flourish.
Yeah, Flourish is probably the longest. There's someone should have made a video for this song. If I'm being honest, this would have made a really cool song for any kind of like video.
This might become my new morning alarm.
It's pretty nice that way. Yeah, it's kind of.
Yeah, it's a nice way to wake up.
Wait till you see where it goes, though. It's like a really good setup.
Too many metal songs, the slow intros are too short. And then you wake up to like the last metal, it's not great. This is good, nice and long, you know.
Yeah. This used to be my wake up song, actually. There we go. There you go.
I was expecting a little breakdown at the end there.
It starts off kind of chill, relaxed, and then like living on the planet, enjoying your life kind of thing, and then all of a sudden, like it just kicks right in, right? Like the shit hits the fan. And there's a couple of instrumental moments here where I feel like you can feel the chaos like ensuing, you know? It kind of puts you in this mode of like shit's really going down type of thing. Obviously there's like the, you know, suck a like desk of ice, and it, like you feel the sort of like the looming impending sort of situation occurring within the song itself, and then it kind of goes into that planetary wide scorching kind of like
the part of the blooming world is ripped apart. That's kind of where it goes like super heavy.
Yeah,
That reminded me of like you know, old school like Acacia Strain almost, just like super heavy, rhythmic, you know.
But the material itself that it's working with is really like projecting that, like you can feel the earth like kind of shattering like within the context of the song itself.
Right. Well, that's one of the things that, you know, I've always wanted to. Whenever it comes to metal, it's like, oh, I like the instruments and stuff. I just can't do the lyrics. I can't do the screaming. That's what, you know, everyone who's doesn't like metal or thinks they don't like metal. That's where they get hung up on, you know. And they always ask, why do they have to scream? And like for forever, I didn't really know how to answer that. But the answer is like, take a Justin Bieber lyrics and compare it to these lyrics, or Bleeding Through lyrics, or Sick Heart River lyrics, or whatever. Most metal lyrics. It's like, here's the difference. You're not going to scream out Justin Bieber lyrics. It doesn't make any sense. But you're also not going to Justin Bieber these lyrics.
Yeah.
Like, You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
when
You're not gonna sing like the context of something like this. Yeah, it
like
doesn't
the
work.
reason singing exists is because you're being extra passionate about what you're talking about,
Mhm.
right? And so if the lyrics are something that are heavy and energetic and whatever, you can't sing it like Justin Bieber. It doesn't work.
Right.
That's why you scream it, and that's why, you know, if you appreciate it, and
I also
I guess there's some getting past the screaming, but
I think the part of it to me is that it takes away some of the humanity of it. So I've always seen screaming within music as two
an
ways.
instrument.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you can either see it as an instrument itself, like the sound itself is an instrument. So sound instruments aren't angry or sad or whatever. They project with the rhythm or tone whether they are angry or sad.
When done right, yeah.
Right. Like you can make a trumpet sound angrier if you wanted to. You know what I mean? And so the same way with the human voice, if you treat it like an instrument, it, you know, good screaming that sounds good to your ears is fine. It's just an instrument. Like that's how you're using it. But the other thing too is that the context of what you're going into with some of this stuff, you can't take it from a human perspective, and sometimes like you know, to someone for someone just to be, you know, speaking out that the world's coming to an end and God's destroying the world, like it has to be coming from something more than just the standard human connection. I would say it has to be something more than that, and the deep
Yeah.
growls and the screams, like it comes out of kind of projects more like of a god or like a demon or something like that, that's kind of offering this
But
context to
like
you.
Randy Bliss is a perfect example, right? From Lamb of God. It's like, you know, like he's so passionate when he's going so ham singing these lyrics. It's like,
Mm.
again, you take these lyrics and you have Justin Bieber sing them, you're not going to have the same feel. There's a different feel to it, obviously, when Randy Bliss fucking singing it and screaming it.
Context
You know,
matters. Yeah.
yeah, you're not going to get the same feel from these lyrics when you're singing them softly. You know,
Yeah,
when
you're
you're
not gonna have
screaming
your
like Randy Bliss,
Justin.
that's when
Yeah,
you really get the goosebumps.
Justin Bieber's not going to be like, each day you breathe is more time to kill. He's not going to sing that.
Yeah,
Like, it
walk
doesn't
with
make
me
any
in
sense.
hell. Like,
Yeah, yeah. It's just,
walk with me in hell. You know, like,
yeah.
yeah, exactly. So, anyways, that's, I mean, our episode. We're going to like more story songs and stuff, and it's like there's certain lyrics that work with the softer lyrics, the softer vocals, and then certain lyrics that when you're more energetic and you're more passionate, that's when you get heavier. Like,
Yeah.
you know, even Bleeding Through does that a lot, right?
Well, the nice thing too, and with this song Exoplanet 3, one of the nice things to point out from what we've been doing lately, like a lot of the songs that we've been doing, especially with Born of Osiris, for example, are like some of the better songs that we've had start heavy and finish, you know, light and kind of airy, sort of.
Mhm.
Flourish does that kind of, but this song is almost the opposite in a way. How it kind of starts off relaxed, kind of puts you in that, you know, it's the juxtaposition of where it starts to where it ends type of thing. It
It
really
just
is the
explodes.
flip of that. Yeah, it's kind of like here's a relaxing moment, and then boom, road's over. But
Yeah,
the rest of the like this album is meant to be listened to. Like it isn't necessarily a party album. This is an album that you put on when you're on your way to work or something like that, and you have the time to just like space out with it, and then you literally go to space, and then the whole world explodes, and then you're there,
I
and
guess.
you're at work. Like it's a great
I
way to
guess.
go. So
All
yeah. All right,
right. Well,
all for this one.
GG. Look
Hey
up.
everybody, thanks for watching. Stay tuned because next week we're going to be looking at songs that have pop culture references and media references within them. Some of them are weird, some of them are funny. They're all interesting, and they're all coming up next. Stay tuned.